lab and a possible cover-up 3 years before the COVID pandemic. That's raising new questions about China's role in the global health disaster and what Dr. Fauci knew about it. All this as China struggles with an alarming surge of respiratory illnesses, overloading medical centers.
We're now learning a U.S. health official working for Dr. Fauci raised serious safety concerns 6 years ago in 2017 after taking a tour of the lab in Wuhan, China's first ever level 4 biosafety lab for handling dangerous pathogens.
The U.S. official was shocked and alarmed after learning the lab was considering plans to reverse engineer the deadly Ebola virus. But when she told superiors before writing her report, she was ordered to delete any reference to Ebola.
Well, more on this. Rich Edson follows it up on what they knew and why they might want to hide that critical information.
This U.S. health worker toured the Wuhan Institute of Virology just as it was about to open its most secure lab. And Chinese officials were admitting they needed more expertise to operate it. This is the same facility that some believe U.S. officials started COVID-19 with an accidental lab leak. The U.S. health official touring the lab worked for the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. That's part of the National Institutes of Health, or NIH. In emails obtained by Fox, she wrote to other NIH officials that, during her tour, a technician at the Wuhan lab complained it was illegal to import Ebola to China to study it. The NIH worker then wrote to other department officials, quote, I remember he said that since they don't have the Ebola virus, they had, quote, considered using reverse genetics to create the virus. I was shocked to hear what he said that. I also worry the reaction of people in Washington when they read this. The technician is only a worker, not a decision maker, nor a PI, principal investigator. So how much we should believe what he said. She wrote, if that got out, it would be difficult to get more information about the lab. 2 days later, she received the reply, quote, as we discussed, delete that comment. That detail never made it into her official report. Former U.S. officials say this is just one of many concerns about that lab.
Well, it highlights we don't know enough about what really is going on at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, whether they're hiding some of their research, they're just not being truthful.
We asked the NIH to comment on omitting these details from the final cable and whether NIH officials had or have any concerns about the Wuhan lab. We did not get a response to those.